Hey everybody, my name is Alex Buriak and I'm the Senior Vice President over here at Jet Lending. And we always go through educational topics to help our investors improve their business, improve their profit margins. So what we're going to go over today is post-closing advice and some case studies with some wins and some mistakes on what you should do after you close, okay? Because everybody knows finding the property is the hardest thing, right? But now you found the property and you have to manage the property, and this is where a lot of your risks start coming in. So immediately you close, you fund, the property is in your possession. What do you do now? Okay, so first thing you need to do is you got to secure the property. You got to change the locks. You got to possibly add fencing depending on the area of the property. Possibly maybe put a fence around the air conditioning, HVAC unit, things like that. Possibly, even consider adding some battery operated security systems and cameras to check on like contractors coming in. Is somebody breaking in your house and stealing your stuff? That kind of stuff. How are you going to manage this asset? So that's immediate steps right after closing to make sure that your property is secure and getting ready for the renovation side of things. Connect your utilities, connect your gas, your water, any other essential operational utilities that are going to help get your renovations done in a timely manner. Remember, you guys got people coming in there. They may be working nights. They need lights on. They need to plug their power tools in, all that kind of stuff. So as soon as you take possession, you got to do these things to make sure that you don't run into time issues getting your job done. Revisit your loan terms. And of course, you just closed. But what I mean by this is a good time manager is the person that's going to do really, really well in this business. So, what I mean by reviewing your loan terms, no matter if you went with jet lending or if you went with a private lender or whatever you need to do to pay back your debt, um, put on like your Google Calendar, whatever calendar that you're using, some basic milestones. Okay, what does that mean? So let's say that you have a 12-month loan. Month nine, you're setting up reminders to renew and reevaluate your insurance. Your GC said it is going to take 8 weeks to complete the project. You set a milestone there, to make sure you keep on time with things. Your loan's up in 12 months, so maybe at month 9, 10, you start looking at your lender for extension, modification, or refinance options. All these things to remind you, because remember, when you're getting into this business, most of you starting out, you still have your regular 9 to 5 stuff that you're doing. You're just adding this on top. So good time management of what you have promised to do on your promissory note is a good scope of practice to keep yourself in line, because you'll blink your eyes, 7, 8 months have passed. Okay, so keeping your loan terms on track and making sure that you're reviewing all your exit strategies and keeping a good time frame of things. Budget management. All right. You should make sure that you are at site every day. Okay, minimum every other day. So you have to manage your budget, and that's not just for the renovation side of things. Yes, you got to make sure there are change orders. Are they within line of the scope of work that we've agreed to? But your personal budgeting as well. You got other bills to pay. You got a mortgage to pay. You got a car payment to pay. Hopefully you're buying groceries, all these other things. And now you have this added expense of this asset that it's supposed to be making you a return. So making sure what monies are coming in and out are managed well, because the one thing that bites investors harder than anything is that they start losing liquidity and they start being able to stop managing their money out appropriately, and they start getting into trouble and things like that. So managing your budget, putting a separate, possibly like savings account for contingencies, making sure that you're using appropriate softwares or apps to manage the numbers coming in and out, so you always know how much money you have, and making sure that you're basically just present and making sure everything's running smoothly with these numbers coming in and out. So here's some tips on renovations for flips. Okay, so if you're a flipper and you've just closed, you have to focus on the high ROI upgrades. All right, that's your kitchens, your bathrooms. Curb appeal matter most. Your buyer has already purchased your property online before they even set foot. All right, they're on MLS or they're on Zillow or they're on all these social sites, and they see the house. They fell in love with the pictures of the house. So Making sure that you have a curb appeal, kitchens, bathrooms, everything's pulling up value. Okay, those are the most important high-end value additions on flipping. You stay on schedule to make sure you don't increase your holding costs, and understand your permit process in the area, because that can also increase holding costs. If you have an area that takes 6 or 7 months for permitting, you have to plan for that in your holding costs and your budgeting that we just went over. Okay, I'm not saying you don't buy those properties. You have to buy them appropriately and manage them appropriately. Interview trusted contractors in the area especially for the grade of finishes you are trying to obtain. If you have been flipping $250,000 properties and this is your first $800,000 property, and you have a GC that does not understand that even the painter in an $800,000 house is not the painter in a $250,000 house, you have issues. You're going to have issues selling that property. So making sure that everything's in line for the flip and the most return that you're getting on the type of finishes that you're trying to attain with this investment. Renovations for hold. This is your plan for this post-closing. So instead of the high ROI aspect of value, what you're looking for is durability. Okay, so you're putting in durable floors, long-lasting materials to reduce the maintenance of things. If you're into a house that was built in 72, you're not replacing the carpet in the living room. You are putting in like high traffic vinyl plank flooring. You may keep carpet in the bedrooms, but you're not going to redo a property and have high traffic areas with a texture or a product that you have to replace with every tenant. Okay, so you're going to put your money in for some vinyl planking and things like that. You're going to return your return on value is going to be when you change tenants. You're not costing so much for the make ready. Make your upgrades that commands tenant use. Again, remember, this is a pretty clean property, but this is not your high value ARV house. So when you're purchasing it, make sure you look at the comps on the finishes that you are going to do and make the relationship to the value that they are at. Okay. So refinancing strategy. Even if you're flipping, you should have 3 exit strategies ready to go, and at what time you are going to execute those exit strategies according to your profit margins. Okay, so let's say that you are planning on selling this house and be in and out in month 9. Well, it's month 8, okay, and you're not even getting any showings. Well, one thing is you should already be looking at why, but let's say you're like, okay, well, I got to get my money back. I'm either going to rent this out, I'm going to short-term rent this out, I'm going to owner finance this, whatever. So you're going to get with your lenders and making sure that you get your 30-year finance quotes. In fact, at Jet Lending, when you do a flip or a rental, we actually, especially a rental property that you're fixing up, we actually provide you your 30-year quote anyway, because we do 30-year loans. So you can say, hey, listen, if you needed this and you had to do it today, this is what your quoting looked like to make sure that you have access to this type of exit strategy. So make sure that you don't just get a lender telling you, hey, yeah, you can do it. Get a quote on your current condition, understanding if your conditions change, your rates may change, the market may have changed. Your credit score may have dropped, things like that. But at least you have a good idea if today, could you qualify? And if you could, would that meet your expectations on refinancing and exit? This is basically how the BRRRR method's done, the buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. People are buying it pennies on the dollar. They're fixing them up. They're refinancing them. They usually are refinanced at today on November 7th, 24 at 75 to 80% of the value. If you're a little hard money lenders at 70 or 75%, you very well maybe dictate some out-of-pocket costs because of the value. So it's really important that if you're doing a refinance strategy, your end product and your 30-year paper, no matter who you use, whether it's conventional or whether it's Jet Lending or whoever it is, that capital is basically feels that the appraisal is gospel. So your end product has to appraise, and they're going to give you the money at 75 to 80% of that appraised value. Okay, so you have to make sure your finishes and your initial evaluation on after repair value is very, very good, because if you are trying to make it fit on your short term using flip ARVs and you're not flipping, you're putting rent type of finishes in, you're going to be out of pocket on that refinance. Okay, holding costs. So if you're getting debt, like a hard money loan on your purchase and repairs, those payments are due the first of every month. Okay, in and out. All right, so you have to project, and I always look at profit margins as paying yourself back for any dollars out. So when you estimate your purchase price and your profit margins, you have to say, well, I think I'm going to be in this for 7 months, so I have to pay myself back 7 months worth of holding costs, 7 months worth of utility bills, 7 months worth of HOA bills. I have to pay myself back, 6% agent fees for selling it. If I was out of pocket at the first closing, I got to pay myself that back. My second closing, usually the seller pays title policy. What is that? I got to pay myself that back. So any kind of holding costs that you're going to incur on the purchase or the refinance, you need to schedule that out so you can really make sure that you're in line to make sure that you are getting the profits that you are projecting. Okay. So preparing for the sale on a flip, day one, you're going to have a sign in that yard that says for sale, coming soon. Okay. Do you have to put it on MLS day one? That's up to you, especially if you're wholesaling it or something like that. But I would make sure the community knows that this is coming soon. Email, phone number, who to contact. Could be with an agent, could not be with an agent. I recommend getting agents because I love paying commissions, because that means my property is selling. Okay, so you get that in the yard day one. So they don't think, oh, Billy's remodeling his house. No, this house is for sale and it's coming soon. All right, so sign in the yard. Do not skip on high quality photos. I said this earlier. In today's market, and it's not changing anytime soon, your buyer is going to purchase your house without you ever even being there and without ever being in the property. They're going to look at your MLS photos. They're going to look at your online photos. They're going to go to, Redfin and 43 Maple Ways are for sale. Oh, that's beautiful. Honey, couldn't you see this? Oh, look at this kitchen. Oh, this. You guys did the same thing when you bought your property. Okay. So this is not the time to pull out your Apple phone and take pictures and use them as your photo pictures. It is like $300 to $500. You're getting drone videos, you're getting lighting videos, you're getting and pictures and stuff like that. Don't skimp on your photos, okay? Because that is your initial purchase. When somebody sees it and says, I want to live there, okay? Realistic pricing. This is not one of those DIY or real estate shows, okay? You're like, well, we're staking the market. We're setting the price. That is not what you're doing. You are a real estate investor, and you are going to slot your pricing that equates for a quick sale with the highest return that you can get on the current market. So you look at your actives, you look at your competition, and you slot your price in to get the most views and the most showings and the most offers. Okay. Like we talked about marketing strategies, coming soon, list on multiple things. I remember when I was closing loans, I would sell 18 properties a year on Facebook. People would see them. These were mostly for investors, but they would see them. They would just pick them up. And I mean, again, I can't stress this enough of the visualization of this property that is for sale to the market. Okay. Preparing for rentals. Do your tenant screenings, your background checks, your credit checks, and ensure quality tenants stay. But it's more important that you get the person in there. Okay, so work with, rents in the area, work with an agent in the area, make sure your property is always occupied. Okay, lease agreements, have your agents prepare your lease agreements with all the conditions that you find useful for the business in which you're running in the rental. Decide on a property manager, and this is why I tell you that your biggest return as an investor is buying properties and increasing your inventory. You are not making any more money by just managing your 3 rentals. You need 12 rentals, you need 20 rentals, you need 30 rentals. So making sure that you understand that you have to find a property manager, understand that you may go through 3, 4, 5 property managers till you find one that fits your model, and understand that you have to manage those managers, and it frees you time to go buy more properties. Okay, so making sure that you get those relationships in order, and see how you can maximize your return that way. Dealing with delays or issues. First thing that you have to do is you have to identify the problem. Okay, so, and that sounds super simple. Like, of course, well, the pipe broke. Okay, well, why did it break? It's not so much the end result of the delay or issue that there is a delay or there is an issue. You have to dig deep and find out why did it happen and fix that first. Okay, because it will continue to happen if you don't resolve the initial problem on why it happened. Of course, if somebody put a hole in the wall, of course you got to go fix the wall. Well, why did it happen? Okay, so communication with your lenders is really, really big. I cannot stress this enough. If you have a delay or issue, most likely the person that has the solution is the person that lent you money. Like at Jet Lending, at this point in time, when we made this video, we've been almost in business for 21 years. We've seen anything you could think of. So get with us for solution. Hey, listen, I need this or I need that. And your lender's going to work with you. They very well may have the person that can solve your problem. So as soon as something happens, you get your entire team involved. Especially if it's something, a delay or an issue that you're not used to, or you have no idea how to fix this, do not attempt to do it yourself. Nobody has excelled in business by just doing it themselves. It's always a team of people that have grown that individual to help them resolve their problems. Okay. I think you should have legal counsel eventually with your consulting on any kind of legal issues, accounting, making sure you're with lenders and title companies and real estate agents and all sorts of subs and GCs and things like that to help relay good, positive information on how to fix things. And of course, your network. Okay. So, and then with your GCs and areas, just make sure that you understand the permit process, because that's one of the bigger delays that you'll see. You'll go into an area that you're like, oh, I didn't know I needed this, or something's on the deed restriction and you have to now get permitted for it. And they only meet once a month and they just met yesterday. So now you have to hold it another month, and they may get conditions, which they always do. And that's 2 more months. So just make sure you have an understanding of where you're working to and what problems can resolve and delays and issues that can happen. So here's some final thoughts. If you haven't surmised yet, you have to stay organized. However you like to do it. If you're a paper person, if you're a software person, it doesn't really matter. But you're making milestones on a calendar that says, reminder this day I have to do this. Reminder this day I have to do this. I have to renew my insurance this day. I have to ask for an extension from my lender this day. I have to do these things. And you're always proactive. Winners want the ball kind of thing. You're the quarterback of your investment, and everybody else is just on the team, and you're throwing passes to your lenders and your real estate agents, stuff like that. So you have to stay organized. And the only way to do that is to really remind yourself on what's going on, because as you're doing one deal today, well, you may be in 8 deals one day at once. 3 of these are selling. This is 20% done in completion and repairs. These ones are your final punch list walkthroughs. I'm managing 5 other rentals. All these things eventually are going to happen to you. So you have to really, really stay organized and run this as a business. Plan for the unexpected. You can't plan for everything, but you have those contingencies in place, that money in place to help you out. Partner with the right people. Interview them like you're hiring for your company, because you are, and luck favors the prepared. All right. So, try to prepare for everything that you can possibly do, and get your team involved to help you manage and solve solutions, and manage and solve problems, and come up with appropriate solutions. I hope that helped on what you should be doing after you close, and we'll just keep coming out with more education. Appreciate your time today, and get with us if you need anything else to help you grow your business and help you grow your investment career. Talk to you later. Bye.